Book your driving lesson now at dla-driving.co.uk. Sponsored by DLA Driving School.
Hello and welcome to Oh When the Town. I'm Luke Gregory and here's what's coming up today. Luton make it 5 unbeaten and another win at Kenilworth Road after Elijah Adebayo heads in. Luton win 1-0 against Hull City. And right now, the league table's looking pretty good. So today, we'll be chatting a bit more about that game. How far can we go this season? Currently 5th. Can we finish in the playoffs? We'll be discussing that today. Glen Rea has picked up some performances in the last few games. Luke Bottaro said to me on Saturday that he's actually really impressed with him. So today, thought we'll do a little focus on Glen Rea, how he's been to the start of the season, and also a few Instagram questions from you guys today with Dave and Bottaro as always. Evening, guys. How are we both?
Evening. Very well, thank you.
Hello again.
You're struggling today, Bottaro, a bit?
Sorry, what do you mean?
Struggle, just long weekend, weren't it?
It was a very long weekend, but it just makes it better by the fact that we had a result, and that's the main focus. So, yeah, but a lot of drinking was done. Unfortunately, we weren't there, were we?
No.
We were in Newcastle.
In Newcastle for the weekend. Watched it on the iPhone on Saturday, so I watched the whole game, which means we can sit here and do this tonight and have a valid opinion on it. Mm-hmm. So let's start with some 3-word reviews.
Oh, don't want to talk to me then.
Dave, how was your weekend? How was Luton on Saturday? How's the ground?
It was great. I'll tell you about it in a bit.
Okay, brilliant. 3-word reviews then. Fraser says, scrappy but happy. Jim says, bloody hard work. Dwayne says, always in control. Beth says, Fred and Elijah, with the little hands emoji. Neville says, winning games ugly. Joe says, great team spirit. And Phil says, playoff dream alive. Is that, can we count as a 3-word?
Playoff could be hyphenated, for
True. Neville says winning games ugly, and I like that one because we weren't at our best on Saturday, were we? But we did pick up the 3 points, which we've said a load of times, it's important to do.
I think we was in control for the most of the game, if not all of the game. It was hard work at times. We had strong defence, but those are the sort of games that shows your team is good if you don't play well and get the 3 points.
I mean, some of the top teams doing it, don't they? So they win titles doing that. I'm not saying we're going to win titles, but it's the way to go.
And that Huddersfield game we had a few weeks back when it was Amari Bell hit the crossbar, it had a bit of a similar feel to that. I think we were better this weekend against Hull. You think if Amari Bell tucks that away, maybe that's one we win 1-0 as well. So it is like you said, at the moment, we are taking them chances when they're coming.
With all due respect to Hull City as well, they were a poorer team than Huddersfield.
Yeah.
They didn't have quite the equipment to do it, so... But no, I mean, we'll take it, won't we?
Definitely take it. Beth says Fred and Elijah. How good were them two on Saturday? Because Nathan Jones spoke about Fred on your dinner in the press. I don't know if it was after the game, but I saw it tweeted today by Luton News, Mike at Luton News, basically saying if you think Fred is good now, when he's like not up to speed, not up to full fitness, not up to like full training quality, he was like, you guys have no idea what we're in for. And you read that and you think, wow, I'm getting excited about this guy.
That's true. We all know what he can do. I mean, we saw it first game of the season as well. And look, like you say, he isn't up to full speed yet, but it's that combination again. How many assists is that now for Adebayo?
We saw that in pre-season against Portsmouth, didn't we? When we drew 1-0 at Kenilworth Road, when that first bit of a link-up we saw. And it has just continued into the league.
It was good to see him back in the team. It was good to see him playing well.
Will he come back and scored against Derby last week?
Yeah, it was just the pace he has, the vision he has, all good.
And
sorry for the cough.
Coughing again.
All over
I'm really sorry.
All over Bottaro.
I'll get it sorted next week.
Brilliant. Fred says we're hard to beat, and it does seem that way at the moment. Only Bournemouth and West Brom have lost fewer games than us this season. I think I read somewhere today, which, when you think about it, is a tremendous effort.
Mm-hmm. And the clean sheet as well.
7 clean sheets.
7, that's mental, isn't it?
Look, we shouldn't run away with our thoughts at the moment, but it's a really good place to be, isn't it?
Of course, it's always nice just to live on the high a little bit, isn't it, sometimes?
Let's have the glass half full at the moment, boys, and just revel. Look where we were not that long ago. Look where we are now, and look how we are excited about the team that's playing for us, and the manager and the team are playing really well. You know, it's brilliant.
Yeah, like you said, glass half full as well. That's a good way to put it, because I think I said to you and Steve on Saturday, I turned around and I said, look, just get to Christmas, get as many points on the board, and then look at where you can go from there.
Yeah.
That's what I was looking at. Because I think I said, oh, yeah, we're not so many points above relegation now. That's great. That's a massive stepping stone. I think Steve turned around and said, oh, mate, we shouldn't be looking behind us. I know, but sometimes you do look behind because it's just nature, isn't it, sometimes. Yeah. And I think it's just good to know that it's a relief to know, look, how many points is it now? 14 or whatever? 13 points? 12? I don't know. Something like
about
that.
The relegation?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or maybe 10, I don't know. But either way, one of those figures. We'll go
let's be fair. The table is a bit weird at the moment. We've got so many teams on the same amount of points. However, you know, we've got those points. And,
exactly.
And
the goal difference as well. But I know it's irrelevant. It's irrelevant now, but you look at the last 3 fixtures we had, and I think if you'd have offered us 7 points from them 3, you probably would have taken it. Millwall, Derby away,
100%,
and then Hull at home.
Yeah,
I would have probably taken 5 if you would have said you draw the 2 away.
Yeah,
which
we probably expected as well.
But like we said in the Millwall podcast last week, how well we did away from home and how much of a good away day it was, and then to have the character to come back twice against Derby when we weren't at our best at all.
Mm-hmm.
And then nearly win it. Like, we forget, Onyedinma Dinman hits the crossbar straight after we equalise.
But
like to do them 2 performances and then maybe not be our best again against Hull and come away with so many points, man, it's exciting. It's exciting times.
And it should be frightening for the team that faces us next when we are really on form.
Yeah, this is it.
That's what I'd like to say.
We don't always peak, do we, when we win, so...
No, but, you know, just grind out. If you got a team of winners and you grind out a result, even when you play terribly, you know what? We could be up there fighting for it at the end. Be great.
Yeah, that's it.
Well, let's look at the whole game in more detail. There were 2 changes from Derby in midweek. Onyedinma and Berry came in for Naismith and Pelly. I think Naismith was suspended, I think you said the other day. And it's good to see Fred start after having such an impact off the bench after, half an hour last week. And I guess when we started the game, I think it was quite attacking from minute 1, really. It did look like we were fully going for them.
Straight on. Berry's having a pretty good game. We created some chances. I think I was quite surprised that we didn't score fairly quickly, to be fair.
Well, we had Berry's shot literally after 4 minutes. At the time, we were watching it on the iPhone in a bar in Newcastle. Don't know how many beers you were in. I was still recovering from the night before, so I was just sat there, just glued to the phone. Berry's hit the post, and we both thought it was in, didn't we?
Yeah. What actually happened? The goalkeeper hit the post.
Do you know what? I don't know.
Deflection or something, wasn't it?
I think it was a deflection, but the point is we were creating chances there, and you know, I couldn't believe that we weren't scoring at that point. And I thought, to be fair, Hull were terrible. To be fair to us, I think they were terrible. But you know what? You can only beat what's put in front of you. You need to keep going at them. But I thought they were terrible. So we did start on the front foot. It was quite exciting. The atmosphere down there was pretty decent. Just wanted that goal to go in.
Yeah. Sorry, you said to me through the game on Saturday that, especially in that first half, you were like, Hull not like, we're all over him. You're like, we're battering them.
Yeah, well, I thought so for the first 20 minutes. Like you said, I was more than a few beers in, so I might have got that wrong. But
no, you didn't. You didn't get it wrong. We were all over them.
Comfortable as well, weren't we?
I don't remember.
The press, wasn't it? The high press.
Yeah,
and,
I don't remember a point in that game where I looked at it and thought, oh, they might score here.
No.
Not many. Maybe one chance.
I think in the whole game they had one shot on target, didn't they?
I don't remember Sluga making a proper save.
No.
One shot on target, I think, was the one in the end of the first half where it was kind of like a low save, but easy for Sluga.
Yeah.
On the 19th minute, everyone in the stadium stood up and applauded. Jacob Crawshaw sadly passed away last Saturday in a car accident.
But how close was that to our goal? You know, like literally we scored and then the 19th minute come up. Mm-hmm. It was great.
It's just great. A great tribute from everyone, including the Hull City fans that joined in as well.
Yeah.
And like Nathan Jones said midweek about it, and I thought that was amazing just hearing him talk about Jacob like that. So that was brilliant. Let's talk about the goal. It was Fred to Elijah again, 7th of the season for him, and Fred Onyedinma at the moment.
He loves that little
step over, doesn't he? Because you don't know. I feel he can go either way.
Of course,
he can go either way. So it's as a defender now.
and he's frightened. He's so quick off the mark as well. It's frightening. He literally is. Like, I mean, like I say, he's not even at his best at the moment. We'll see that, but I mean, we see it against Peterborough. We saw little glimpses of him taking the player on inside and outside, like you say, on both feet. And I think one of the goals from the Peterborough game, going back to that, was he went down on his left foot down the line, cut it back across. But look, what a player! Obviously, I'll be honest. I said to you pre-season that I wasn't too sure if he was going to make it at Luton. Obviously, no one knows, but he plays a different role now at Luton compared to what he did at Wycombe. So that's what we need. What I need to remember.
And he's
really surprising.
Fully taken it like by the storm, innit? And you look at the games he's missed out on. Imagine if we had him for the load of games he was injured, we'd maybe even have some more points.
Well, true, and don't take away the run from Adebayo to get to where he needed to be to get that ball in. That was good. So the cross was great. The build up to it was great. But actually, sort of the right poacher's goal almost, and just getting in front of it.
And the finish was absolutely great as well because he had his head down there and trying to
exactly.
One of those. But I was sat there saying to Steve, obviously he was sitting right next to us, and I was sitting there going, "Oh, good little finish there." And he's gone, "Mate, it's a tap in." And obviously, like you look back on it, he gets his head right underneath it, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's
tap in or not. As a striker, you have to get there. So he got in front. He got in front of that defender, and he took the opportunity.
Here's a question on Elijah Adebayo, right? And we're not going to be bashing any former players here, right? But I think if we have James Collins in the team, we don't score goals like that.
No.
James Collins is a different player. He's a different player to Adebayo. Totally.
Yeah, and he plays on the last defender as well, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Especially when the ball's coming in the box, he knows where to position himself. He can peel off his man. He can get in behind. It's lovely, but
and we've spoken about Elijah a lot on the podcast and how he's great with his feet, like unreal with his feet. How he, for a big guy, is so quick and so powerful and skillful, and it is like a completely different player to James Collins from last year. And we're maybe scoring goals now this season that we didn't see a lot of last year. And it's even like the equaliser at Derby, the cross in, and Elijah's just beating the keeper to it and nod it. It's just like at the moment, he's getting goals we've not seen in a Luton team maybe for quite a while.
He's quite well all round as well, isn't he?
He's learning more.
Yeah.
Since he joined us, definitely.
He's only a kid still, really, if you think about it.
Yeah, and that's why the development team are doing really well with him. And he's making his mark.
And the next player to sort of go for a few million probably.
Yeah.
Hopefully not, though. Hopefully he'll stay with us till we get to the Premier League, at least, next 2 years.
Well, look, you get the best of both worlds, don't you? If he stays with us and we go up, fantastic. If we don't go up and he stays with us, we challenge more. If he moves, we get a really good fee for him.
Exactly.
Producer Jacobs put some nice little stats down on the running order today. Luton's record when Adebayo scores. Games played 12. Wait a minute. This is producer Jacob doing terrible stats. Games 12.
No. We've played 12 games. He's played in 10 of them. We've won.
Games 12, played 10. Yeah.
Yeah. We've won 7.
But I think you might
we've not lost when Adebayo's played. Is that true?
Is Jacob drunk when he does this stuff?
Well, he probably did this on Saturday night, in all fairness.
No, I don't.
Luton's record when Adebayo scores, he put games 12 but played 10.
Yeah.
Well, how going to be? What do you mean games 12 played 10?
Does he mean to say goals? No, it's not goals, is it?
No, I'm a bit confused now. I'm not going to lie.
I'm so confused. I really appreciate the effort, producer Jacob, but it just doesn't make sense.
Please explain what you mean.
7 wins, 3 draws, no losses.
I should probably give him a call right now.
Well, that'd be 10 games, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
So was it say games 12? Oh, forget it. He's got 6 in 7. That's all we can confirm that we know.
Useless stuff.
But
why is there
unfortunately,
a full stop and an S or whatever? Or whatever that symbol is.
Look,
after.
Producer Jacob, sort yourself out, mate. Better please next week. He went off injured just after half time. We didn't even notice. I think we watched 15 minutes on.
Do you know what? I was there and I didn't even notice.
Really? Oh, so it wasn't just us then?
No, it could have been. It could have been that I was pre-match bar and then half time bar.
Probably.
You know, you go for the social as well as the football, don't you?
We didn't even realise he'd gone off injured, and it wasn't until Jerome touched the ball and we were like, wait, that's 35, that's Jerome. Didn't know Adebayo went off injured.
At least we're not the only one anyway.
Fingers crossed though it's not too serious and he's fit enough to play at the weekend again.
Well, I heard someone tell me today it was a slight hamstring injury.
Right.
And apparently they saw him walk out afterwards and he looked fine. So, wow, that's anything to go by, but it's probably like the Sun newspaper, isn't it?
Yeah.
But no, I mean, remember when the goal went in, I think half that pub Well, most of the pub looked at us like we were fucking freaks because we were just staring at the table like that. Honestly, Dave, you've seen it.
I think we had a
Staring at the table
few...
like this the whole time, and all of a sudden it goes in, we're just banging the table, doing like giving it all that like little monkeys.
I think you know. Do you think about our strikers now? And Adebayo goes off, Jerome comes on, and it's a different front line. I don't think Jerome had the best of games myself. No. So you just see what an impact Adebayo's had in the team. I mean, I like Jerome. Don't get me wrong, I like him. I think he works hard, but I don't think he showed much at the weekend.
I think it's difficult for Jerome though because of how well Elijah does. And most of the time when Jerome's coming on, it's when we are winning, you know, and his role's different.
I get that, and I'm not saying that he won't produce and he can't produce. I just think you notice a difference.
George Moncur came on to a warm reception, was it, Dave, from the crowd?
Yep.
Good.
That's all I can say. I mean, why would you not give him a warm reception? He was great for us.
And he scored us some vital goals to win us that
100%. And you know, there is no way on this earth anyone would say anything different about the man. He was good for us. Wish him well. Just didn't want him to do ill against us.
Exactly that.
Producer Jacob says Glen Rea was having a fantastic game. Numerous interceptions, volley saved. We are going to be doing a bit more of a focus on Glen Rea, but he is kind of looking quite solid at the moment, isn't he?
Well,
Glen Rea had a good game. He had a good game, right? But I tell you now, I know we're talking about Glen Rea, but he wasn't the only player on the pitch who had a fantastic game. I mean,
no, but I think you noticed it more. Well, we did anyway. Obviously, looking at it on the phone because there was some vital interceptions, challenges, etc., and whatever else. But yeah, I know what you're saying, Dave.
What about Sonny?
Well, I can't keep mentioning.
Look,
Sonny
we know what he feels about Sonny Bradley.
Because every single time he does something good, I'm always sitting there going, "Yeah, Sonny Bradley."
Literally Saturday in this pub in Newcastle, you're sat there, and I just think one minute you go, "I love Sonny Bradley."
Not quite like that, but yeah,
but something like that.
But he played his part in the game, and he was immense. Mm-hmm. Glen Rea was solid. Lockyer was good. You know, the back four were fantastic. You
said to me the other day, you were like, Lockyer's the new Matty Pearson because of these long balls down the line.
New improved,
I was like,
new improved one.
Yeah, apart from the fact that Lockyer's balls actually stay on the pitch and normally get him beyond. But we said this last week, we seem to have found a bit of a solid, settled back four at the moment. Bree's been unreal, Bell's been unreal, and then Sonny and Lockyer back to that partnership which we've known and loved for so long. And I think they're improving maybe with them players around them as well.
100%.
I think they've got the belief in themselves as well. It's sort of
like you say about obviously. Sorry, I just moved that quickly. Yeah, but about obviously Sonny Lockyer. So they play a 3, didn't they? Sometimes at the back as well. Was it a 3 on Saturday, Dave? Was it a 4? Because we couldn't work it out before the game, could we?
Do you know what? I thought it was a back 4, but then you know,
I think it changed.
Sometimes when I'm at the stadium, and especially where we sit, sometimes I sort of just gloss over the formation. Sadly, and whatever they did. It was very successful.
Yeah, but that back 3, 4, 5, whatever it is it just looks so settled. I mean, like you say, every one of those defenders is completely different to the next.
Yeah.
And they all work so well. They all know where they're, well, obviously, they all know where they're going anyway because they coach well.
I know we said this before, but in the past when you're watching a game and you're seeing your team only 1-0 up, and we kept thinking, well, we could really do with the second, we could really do with the second.
Yeah, we said this.
The second wasn't coming, and in the past, we'd have defended too deeply, we'd have sat back a bit, we'd have tried to cling on to it, and then you get the sucker punch. But, you know...
Well, like Swansea a few weeks ago.
But we were totally on it.
Because as we said that, we were watching it, and then they put up final score on the TV screen, so obviously we were like a minute behind on iFollow, so we were just sitting thinking, if they score now... and they did get one... kind of half chance, didn't they? They got through on the right hand side and whipped it across the face, and it kind of just went all the way through. Thank the Lord. But
wasn't great.
Apart from that,
I think
there wasn't too much to worry about, was it?
The whole game, I wasn't worried. I didn't think Hull would score at all. Not at one point.
Not in the way they were playing, or we were giving them anything. But it's always that in the back of your mind. Obviously Luton of old. Obviously, I think we need to sort of get that out of our system now. The Luton of old, because we're not doing it anymore so much. At the moment, anyway, 14 games in.
I think they learned from the Swansea game. I think, especially like that Coventry game when it was like we go in at 4-0, and they were like, look, even at 4-0, I bet they were still thinking we need to get that next goal, or we need to not.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. Is it more learning though? Or is it more sort of like you're coming up against a team who you know, with all due respect to Hull City, they aren't as good as Swansea. Swansea have much better players. Players that probably, you know, someone like Conor Hourihane, for example. Don't know how much he was worth, but obviously that and Cham or whatever his name is, and you know, them kind of players they're paying big money for. Whereas Hull City, with all like say respect to them,
it's a Luton thing though. But Taro, it's a Luton thing, isn't it? When you've been watching them a fair amount of time too now, and you know that sometimes we perform towards the end of a game poorly.
Yeah, and I don't think we respect teams as much as well nowadays. I think the last year, respect's gone out the window for other teams. I think we look at them now and think, do you know what, we can match you, we can fucking take you on, let's go. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, whereas in the past, we never did that.
Well, I think our first season in the Championship, maybe we showed a few teams too much respect.
Massively, yeah. And now we're a bit nasty with it as well. We have players in there, you know, try and hurt people, and it's great to see, isn't it, really?
It's like you saw that with Huddersfield coming to play for a point.
The whole respect thing, though, you know, do you give them respect, or you just get your game plan based on how you see them? I don't, you know, you shouldn't give anybody any respect when you play them, ever. And especially one team that we won't mention.
That's it, yeah.
But, you know, you should just set out your own game plan. Do they really go out and go, oh, well, we're not going to... We'll just back off a bit because we know they're good?
No,
is
I
that
don't
what you mean?
that. I think sometimes it's more the fear and overcautious.
Okay,
sometimes.
yeah, I get you.
Maybe, that's probably the way to put it. Maybe overcautious sometimes. And you sit there and go, okay, I suppose, but the more you do things and the more like the success you get, or even the failures in life, like anything in life, you'll learn from it, won't you? You'll learn from every single thing you do in life. I'm sure being in the Championship playing against certain teams, you know, no team in that league is the same. You might have similar teams, but no team in that league tries to play like the same way as the next one, for example, where Swansea like to keep the ball and pass it to death, whereas we like to go direct, mix it up, play it across the midfield sometimes, switch it up. You know, you've got teams that stick to their game plans and whatever else. I think we're finally starting to realise now, the players obviously, such a cliche thing to say, but, you know, with experience, they will learn this. And it's a steady group now that have gone up and down, you know, highs and lows with Luton. And I think they're starting to get to grips with it now.
Well, one man who's definitely getting more experience at the moment is Glen Rea. He's been performing quite well recently. Producer Jake has asked today, how do we rate his performance of the weekend? Brilliant. Can you see him staying in the team going forward? Has he kind of nailed that spot at the moment? Is he one of the first names on the team sheet right now?
Well, of course, at the moment, while we're doing well, who isn't? You wouldn't change anything that's broken, would you? So, change anything that's broken, change anything that's working. So,
if it's not broke, don't fix it. Yeah.
That's what I meant to say. Mate, it's been a long weekend. I need to sleep. As you can see, there's no beer today. Where's the water, actually?
Hey, listen, we've all known that Glen Rea is a decent player. We've always known that. Haven't we? We've always thought, he's got...
I've definitely always thought it. I've always liked him. And
the moment he's coming to his own, he's an outstanding player in our team, and why not?
Yeah, like I said a couple of years ago, I felt like some people, they got in his bag, obviously he came back, obviously they expected him to do what he did in League 2 and League 1, but he had to take time to adjust.
As I say, it did take him a little bit of time. I think his first debut against Stoke.
Yeah, but come on, he'd been out for a while, hadn't he?
Well, yeah, but that's what I mean. For him, it was probably a bit of a shock coming back in and maybe had to get up to the pace of the Championship.
In a shit team at the moment as well. I'm not being honest, but we weren't that great either back then.
No, true.
The way we were playing,
leaps and bounds,
this is what I'm saying.
But everybody had to get used to the new pace of the Championship, didn't they? Every member of our team, when we got promoted, how many of the team that got promoted were actually ex-Championship players? Not
many, no.
No, so everybody has to get used to it, and he's adapted well, and he's performing well now, and that's fantastic to see.
His stats v Hull: 3 tackles, 4 interceptions, 3 clearances, 1 block, 67% pass accuracy. And here's what you guys said about Glen Rea. How did you rate his performance of the weekend, and can you see him staying in the team going forward? Luton Town Exile says 100% Glen Rea is a class act and one of our best players. Look at the interception he made on Saturday on the edge of the 6-yard box to stop them equalising. No one else on the pitch gets there. Superb. I don't care that he's not shabby. He's vital to us.
True. Yeah. It was a great interception.
And he's a leader as well. But yeah, like you say, that interception as well, was that when Slew came out for it, went past him or whatever else? And
oh yeah, forgot about that.
That was, wow.
Dodgy from Sluga.
Yeah, but that there from Glen Rea, the way he just flung himself to get the ball, and obviously
was brilliant.
Took the landing, excellent. That's what you want. You want the nitty gritty sort of stuff. That's his bread and butter. Do you know what I mean? That's what he loves. So
that's what he's paid for.
Yeah.
Kieran says there's not one person who would have been buzzing when he was back in the 11 originally, but now there's no one who can dispute. He's upped his game, taking games by the scruff of the neck, wins his tackles, wins his headers, and is the most consistent performer.
Well, it's not much to argue with there, Kieran, is there? Let's be fair. He's just, when he's been in the team, he's been mostly great.
Mm-hmm.
And the biggest thing there, he's upped his game.
Yeah, upped his game. Why not? You need to.
Louise says he's improved considerably. Definitely deserves his place. Needs to maintain his standard, and there are now very good options. And I guess with Alan Campbell coming back into the team and stuff, it's going to be more competition. And like we said, he's got to keep the high standard now, like Louise said.
But that's why you want the squad like we've got, don't you? Because if you're all competing for places, you're all going to try your best.
Yes.
Simple.
And he gives you the thing is with Glen Rea. We know obviously what he brings. He brings you a physical presence in that midfield, almost like Kevin Nichols in a way, where he's a bit of, like I said, I went back to what I said about 10 minutes ago. A bit of nastiness. He's that kind of player. He'll get stuck in. He'll try and
he's not afraid to put a tackle in.
I'm sure when players are around after the first sort of 10, 15 minutes, the opposition are probably thinking, Jesus, this guy's a bit of an arsehole, isn't he?
Yeah,
and that's what you want.
And in that conversation there, you just said, we've got Alan Campbell in the background there, and Alan Campbell is one who's going to learn and become better as well. So and he can learn from Ray.
And we are Luton Town, made a good point here. Gone under the radar for me. He's definitely given a negative Nelly some moments to munch on. But he's really shown his still as a place and doesn't look like letting Osho have it back. Struggled after his injury to get back to form, but the full pre-season he's back. And that's a good point on Osho. And they did spell radar.
Yeah,
I like that.
Brilliant. I completely forgot about Osho,
Osho's just, that's the thing.
That's bad.
He started off quite well this season. He had a really good start to the season. I don't know, is it injuries not in the team now? Is it just he's not getting selected?
Well, apparently we've heard nothing about it being injured, have we? So apparently it's just a full strength side pretty much now. So I just reckon, well, you look at Alan Campbell, for example, he wasn't even in the squad for the last 2 games, I think, prior to that.
Yeah, so he was massively injured at one point, wasn't he? Let's be fair.
Of course.
So, it's a good point. Good point, well made.
Jason says, I thought he was man of the match in such a scrappy game. He was the player winning headers, making tackles and interceptions. His shot he had was very in Ray-like, as they usually end up out of the ground. Really pleased he's got a run in the team and shown his worth.
That's a bit harsh, that is there. You don't shoot enough. I mean, I'm sure in the past when he has shot, that's probably gone out, probably onto Hatter's way or whatever, but fair play. He's, like I say, scrappy game there as well. He's got himself involved and he stood out.
Neville said he looked solid on Saturday. Shame his efforts didn't end with a goal. He's a fan favourite. I don't want him anywhere near the defence, so hopefully we've learned that from last season.
We got a strong defence.
I guess we mean we don't want him in the back four. Maybe him sitting in front is where he's best, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, of course. Well,
he had a great game Saturday.
Surely we've always known that that's his best position, holding midfield.
He had a great game. He was solid. Totally.
Yeah. But, Sonny Bradley was also class as well.
Just had to put it in, didn't you? Just had to fit in.
Yeah.
No, he's been class, to be fair to Sonny Bradley. I think Glen Rea realistically on a very good run of form, but everyone's playing well at the moment. It's everyone. Producer Jack texted me today. He was like, "Who do we do a player focus on?" Because it was like, do we do Elijah? Do we do Fred? And he was like, "Let's do Glen Rea." Because
we've done him for a long time, have we?
We haven't. And it's thinking maybe we have been ignoring his efforts recently and not giving him the praise he deserves.
As well, I also said at Millwall as well. I thought he was excellent against Millwall as well. All right, he didn't do a lot, but he got stuck in yet again. And you go back to that whole thing of you want someone in the midfield who's going to bully people and whatever. Like I say, he's your man. He's done it a few times now. I think twice in the last 3 games he's been excellent.
I think it's great that you couldn't make up your mind who the player focus was. It just shows you how good our team is right now. Mm-hmm. It's brilliant.
Should we get into some Instagram questions then and finish when the cough today?
Yeah, I'm really sorry about the coughing.
You're making me nervous, Dave. You just come back from cough and you're on coughing, mate. Jesus.
It's not COVID, that's one thing I know.
That's funny. Ryan says, do you think Luton would have to stadium share if we got promoted this season to the Premier League?
No. Why are we even asking that question? Absolutely not. Why? What reason would that be?
I think there could be requirements for more. I think we'd have to spend a lot of money doing stuff up.
Like what? Just
media seating, I think, for starters.
Okay, media seating. Anything else?
I think when we got promoted to the Championship, we had to add loads of extra media seating where you could have laptops and workspaces.
Okay, I get that.
Put on the roof.
Where put them up on that scaffold. Hey, do you know what? Put them on the scaffolding up on the boxes. The thing is, look at Bournemouth. Bournemouth Stadium doesn't hold much more than ours, does it?
No, but it's just a little bit more modern, I think.
There is no way that we'd ground Sheffield get promoted from the Premier League. No way.
Well, that's what Ryan's asking. So do you think we'd have to?
Well, I'm just saying no.
No way, Ryan.
Ryan,
Just say no.
Max says
no.
Sonny Bradley masterclass against Ronaldo next year. What do you think?
Absolutely. Well, that's
over to
don't
Pizarro.
ask me because it's obviously a biased answer. So, but 100%, mate. I think
Hey.
Sonny just turned him inside out, wouldn't he?
I know we like have to be. We can just take this as a bit of a fun chat, but imagine we got promoted this season and we were in the we would just be fascinating just seeing Pep Guardiola pitch side at Kenilworth Road with all of his Man City stars. It would be unreal, wouldn't it?
I don't think he'd know how to take it, to be fair.
Yeah, give him the shitty change room as well.
Can you
Make sure
imagine the
heat is off.
atmosphere? Can you imagine the atmosphere in
Yeah.
our ground? It'd be brilliant.
Cut the radiators as well. Imagine watching him with his little scarf on there, his nice little jumper.
Chris says, "Do you think next week Dave will stop coughing?" No, he says, "Do you think we'll go on a cup run? Do you think we'll go on a cup run?"
That'd be the one, wouldn't it? FA Cup run would be absolutely amazing. But look, focus on the league. Let's get promoted.
Chris, I'm hopeful for a cup run. It's always good fun.
All I want in the cup is Brentford away, so I can go sit in the away end
No.
and
Can you guarantee us a win?
drop my girlfriend an elbow when.
Can you guarantee us a win?
No, but
Then no, we don't want that one. I'd rather have Man U away because we could beat them at this moment. in
Yeah,
time.
100%.
I mean, judging by their performance at the weekend, we could put 5 past them easily.
Brentford away would be good though. It would be a good
no.
away day.
Listen, no,
Be a
I'm
good
sorry
away
to
day.
say,
I'm
get
not
rid of
looking
those.
forward to that one, mate.
No,
Not looking
if
forward
you're
to
going
that
to go
one.
on a cup run, I want a. Sorry, Amber, I want a bigger team than Brentford.
Yeah,
if we're going to
exactly.
a Premier League team, I want Tottenham away. I want
Oh,
Man United
Tottenham away
away.
would be brilliant, wouldn't it?
Tom,
Yeah.
that's the one you want, yeah. I'm not being funny. I've been at Brentford, mate. Shit, so get on.
Callum says, "Who do you see leaving in January?"
Nobody.
Hilton.
Oh, see, I forgot about Hilton.
Yeah.
I forgot
Maybe
about
Mane.
Hilton.
All depends on who's fit and who's not. So, I don't know. You can't really have this conversation until
More to the
obviously
point,
we
is
know
anybody
what
going to come
squad
in on the January? You know, you just at this moment in time, you can't tell.
I think we'll definitely make signings. I think if we're in a position in January where, I think by January we'll know where we are, and it'll be: are we pushing? Can we
Yeah.
realistically make a playoff
I
space?
think one player I do think is going to be gone in January is Potts.
Do you think? Yeah.
He's the only player I think that will be gone. For definite. I can't see him staying. Why would you want to stay when you're not even getting into the team? Like I said, it depends on injuries. And,
With
know,
Potts
it's
now
up
as
to
well,
him.
you'd probably say Naismith and Bella ahead of him, aren't they?
100%. Of course they are.
I forgot about Potts.
Like, I think, obviously, we all love Potts. Obviously, he's been down the journey. But sometimes I think, best for him just to move on now. Because I can't see him getting anywhere. I mean, maybe potentially, if you get a couple of injuries at the back, you can see him maybe slotting in at like a centre back on the back three, maybe. But that's the only place I see him. I don't see him as a left wing back at all. I think in a back three as a centre half, and that's the only position I see him in.
But he's a player as well that's served us really well, and he's been through a lot with us. And I think one of John Steele's signings.
I think
Wow.
with players, I
Must have
mean,
been.
with players, you thank them for their service.
Oh, here we
Excuse
go.
me. Oh,
Here we go.
again. No, you thank them for their service. But you know what? The only people that are really, really loyal to the club are their fans. Right? So players come, they go, they do their job, they go. Is it his time to go? Possibly. If he goes, well done, thank you very much. Who's the new player that's going to replace him? That's how I look at things like that.
Well, yeah.
I mean, there's only a couple of times when I've been totally devastated when players have left. But, it's Luton Town. You have to expect it.
I'm going to throw this one in there as well. This may not go down too well.
And don't say it.
Go for it.
But I'm going to say it anyway. I could potentially see, obviously not permanently, but for a month or so, I could maybe see Mendes Gomez going out on loan to a League One club.
Oh, really? Yeah,
Because
that's a
he's
good-
not getting the game time.
Well, Mike says, why isn't Mendes Gomez getting enough game time at the moment? But I think it just simply comes down to you're not going to drop Fred at
this
the
is
moment.
it.
You're not going to drop Harry. You're not going to
Whilst
drop.
I think even like Musgrave's ahead of him as well.
Yeah.
Play on the wing or up top, especially the formation we play as well with the back three and the two wing backs and maybe the two up top with the attacking midfielder. When we're playing that position, I can't really see him unless he comes on off the bench to go up the top or whatever. We change formation. I can't really see him making much of an impact. It's a shame because obviously I really like him, but I think it wouldn't do him any harm to go out on loan for a bit, maybe get his confidence back up a little bit. But at the same time, I'd love to see him come in.
It's just a tricky one, isn't it? Because maybe it is the fact that he is performing really well in training, but just not getting that game opportunity at the moment. But maybe this is where...
It's a big step as well, remember?
Well, exactly. He was playing in League 2 last season.
But don't get me wrong, I'm still excited about seeing how I still want him to be playing like parts in the season. But obviously, he might not be happy sitting on the bench the whole time. So, and obviously, they might have conversations.
Listen, he might not be happy, but he's probably in a better position than he was from where he came. And he's developing, and he's learning, and he's our future. There you go.
Exactly.
And maybe this is where an FA Cup run could be good for us as a club. Maybe we get a nice little home tie against someone from League 1 or League 2, and he goes straight into that starting 11, scores a hat-trick, and then straight away he's like, right, I'm ready to play that next league game.
It's nice to be straight into the third round as well, isn't it? Let's be fair.
But realistically, though, obviously we'll see in the next sort of 6-7 games, after sort of like 20 games have gone, and he's only made like 2-3 appearances or whatever, you start to think, don't you, like, obviously it's not going to go anywhere on a permanent. I'm just saying, maybe for a month or so, or 6 weeks, he might go out and just play in League 1 or something. I'm sure he'll do great.
I'm sure
I still think he's a championship player and he's good enough to do it, but just for him personally.
He's aware of his own development, I think. I agree. He knows where he's at. He's in a better club than he was before, and he's got better opportunities to come.
Mm-hmm. I'll be interested to hear your opinion on this. If you want to leave a comment, if you're listening or watching on YouTube right now, leave a comment below. Do you think Mendes Gomez could potentially go on loan for a month or so, just to get, like Batara says, a bit of confidence back in and maybe find a bit of form, get into that first team?
Can I just say as well, Glen Rea did it. Look at him now.
Yeah, because he went to Woking. He went to Woking.
Did, yeah.
What a signing that was for them for the month they had him.
Wow. Well, you know what, Batara? I think you've really made a good point there. Let's see if that happens in January.
I just thought about it. I started thinking about it last week. I thought, he's not getting on the bench. I said, we know he's exciting, but I just thought about it last week and I just thought it would make sense. If he's not getting game time with us, don't stick him in the under-23s or whatever he play. Get him out in League 1 or something. Every team in League 1 would snap him up like that. 100%.
I'll be interested to hear your thoughts. Owen the Town on Twitter. Leave us a comment or comment below on YouTube. That's pretty much everything for this week. A bit of a shorter one, but...
Do you mind if I just say one more thing?
Yes, go for it.
Okay, if you're watching on YouTube, you're thinking, why are there 3 cans of Fosters on the table? This is down as a tribute to my dad, who passed away on time of recording this 6 years ago today. Mm-hmm. And if you remember, we was at the game. Luton played Northampton, and we scored a really, really late winner. It's the most emotional I've ever felt of a football match, ever.
Luke Guttridge ran it in the last minute.
So, I mean, it's a bit of a thing for me. I just want to say, it was a tribute to my dad, so thanks very much for letting me do it.
No problem. Lovely stuff. Well, thank you so much for listening today. Thank you so much for watching. Get us on iTunes and YouTube. Just go search I Win the Town. And on social as well, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, whatever you're on. And do you know what? Completely forgotten who we're playing at the weekend. Preston, innit?
Preston.
That's the one.
Yeah. I mean, let's be honest. 3 points from that, and we're
flying. I think we could do it, though.
There's no reason why we can't.
We could beat any team in this league.
There's no reason why.
Hey, we're 5th. Enjoy it. Enjoy it.
We might be 11th next week.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because even if we are 11th, we can get back to 5th very quickly. So,
the league's so tight as well, isn't it?
Love it.
So tight.
Well, enjoy it if you're going up to Preston at the weekend, and then Middlesbrough at home the following Tuesday. It's going to be a good weekend, hopefully. Let's hope for 6 more points. Have a good one, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you.